Who's your first question? Yeah, John Day, middle of the road.
Hey Sam, you know Kieran really well. I guess a lot of people are going to be worried when they hear he wasn't training, sort of how straight and all that, can you ease the nerves of everyone back home?
Yeah, the bit of the banter around the team is that he didn't want to get wet today, so I'm sure he'll be fine. He's a tough man. He's just didn't want to get wet, so yeah.
As Shayton before in 2011, not training before the semi-finals?
Yeah, thinking back to then, Richie didn't really train for a couple of weeks there, and we used to always have a game of touch on captain's run, and a few of the boys couldn't work out why they got cut, and wasn't until after the tournament a few of the boys were like, oh yeah, Richie just didn't want to run anywhere, so yeah, a little bit the same.
Yep, Alex, on the front left.
How's it going?
Did you watch the Cricket World Cup final? And is that kind of added into your motivation for this week?
Yes, I did watch the cricket. Can't say I thought about it this week until you brought it up then, but it's it was pretty amazing game to watch. Obviously, we weren't the happiest with the result, but saw a few of the cricket boys afterwards, and they were pretty excited about how close they got, and they know that hopefully when New Zealand do get to win that Cricket World Cup, that they've really set up the generations to follow them. So it was quite humbling to talk to them afterwards, how their mindset was after obviously a pretty close loss.
Yep, in the middle.
Yeah, cricketers were quite taken aback, I think, by the tiebreaker rules as they turned out. I'm not sure if it was on top of it. Are you guys completely confident if you've got all that locked down?
We don't have to bowl a super over or anything like that, but we'll make sure throughout the whole week that we know all the different processes and protocols and rules of what potentially can happen if it's a draw or anything like that. But at the moment, we just had a good training this morning. Obviously, it's a little bit wet, but it's nothing that'll hurt you. So we got through some good stuff, and I'm excited about this week. We've had an opportunity to come back down after a pretty full-on game and building nicely into the week.
Yep, Nigel.
If it came down to a kicking contest and you guys got the call,
Not me.
Barrett, Scotty Barrett for me.
Yeah, not me.
No, depending on injuries, and I'd say there'd be a few backs to back themselves.
Ian, where you go, in the front.
Tim will ask about your two brothers would be bound to be amongst the five, but do you, seriously, if it came up to it, do you reckon you'd be one of the five?
Probably have to be pretty short, but out of the forwards, I'd back myself.
Where you go, Mark?
Your long career, you probably played in a few times earlier, played a lot, and played a lot recently. But all teams have styles. From what you've experienced, what's England's style and what can you expect this weekend?
Yeah, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago we played them 4 times in 1 year, and everyone said we played them too much, and then the next couple of years everyone's saying that we never play them. But the couple of times that I have been lucky enough to play against them is, they've got a great forward pack. They can play a couple of different styles. They can play that direct style, obviously scrum, maul, line out, all those things. But they've also got a lot of flair too. They've got some quality players that can change a game with a bounce of a ball or a back strike move. So it's something that teams that that are hard to play against have a couple of different styles, and they can change within a game of what style they're playing. They might play expansive or hide the ball away. So we're just got to be ready for whatever they throw at us, and I'm sure they'll be trying to look at our game and see any weaknesses, and it's the same thing that we're trying to do to them as well.
Nigel and Joe.
Scott, can you talk to us a little bit about what it's like on and off that bench during a game before you get to go on? I mean, is there a lot of banter? Is there a lot of discussions about certain things, like you talk about line outs, scrums, patterns?
Yeah, I think we're constantly talking about pictures we're seeing, how we're going, things that we can bring on into the game, or any adjustments. But yeah, the other side of that is particularly on Saturday, we fed off the energy that the guys started with, and it was awesome to sit on the bench, and you could actually feel the intensity of the way they started, and that flows on to us on the bench, and you can actually feel that.
So there were a lot of conversations at half time as well, based on what you're seeing, or is it just sit back and let the coaches do what they do?
There's a bit of a process around it. Sort of, you let the guys who have been out there, they know what they're in the moment, they're feeling it. They might have some solutions that we might be seeing, and if there's anything that they haven't touched on, how they're defending, how they're, attacking or whatever, we can help out where we can, yeah.
Joe, where you go?
So, lack of familiarity, I guess, with the English, how does that change your preparations this week compared to, say, playing South Africa?
I think the homework that every player does, and obviously all the management, everyone's got their own little areas that they'll focus on and feed that information in. I don't think it's a massive concern, because the way the game is now, you can get all the different views from all the different games, so you should know your opposition pretty well. It's not like you don't get any information on them at all. It's just you probably have to go looking for it a little bit more.
Yeah, Alex.
So mentally, are you preparing for the toughest game since the last World Cup?
Myself individually or the team? Yeah, I think how good is being involved in a knockout game at the World Cup. You've got to be ready to go. If it doesn't matter who you're playing, you hope that mentally and physically you're in the best space you possibly can be, and it's one of those things with a test match week. You don't want to be right there on a Monday. You've got to make sure that you take the time so you get there when you actually need to be, rather than all wound up, ready to go, and you train really well, but you don't play that well. So.
The way that England played last November and the way they played last weekend, does that suggest to you that they're going to really bring a major challenge to you?
Yeah, every game that I've been involved in, it's always a challenge. I think if any games were easier, I think a lot of the boys wouldn't enjoy it as much. It's always a massive challenge, and playing England at a Rugby World Cup knockout game, it is massive. Will be some of the biggest games that us as players will be involved in. So, how exciting is that to be a part of?
Yeah, where you go, mate?
England were able to slow Australia's ball down quite a bit, and you guys, you always say that Australia have the quickest ball in the Rugby Championship. So from what you saw, was there a big difference of how the Wallabies usually play, how quick they are, and how England let them play?
Yeah, part of it is making sure that you look after your own ball, and teams will go out there and try to slow it down, and they're good at that. So hopefully we can be ready for what they're going to try to do to slow it down, so we can play at the speed we want to play at.
Yep, second one.
Scott, you semi-final for World Cup, the moment of your career. Is it a change and something very strange to prepare it with your two brothers near you in the spot? And how have you find Bolden as a 15, as a 10 before?
Yeah, actually this week I'm rooming with Bodie for the first time since 2002, when he was actually on the top bunk at the farm cottage. So it's quite nice. I guess to have a key driver of our game to be rooming with and chat about some stuff to prepare for this game this week, which will be, like you said, it's my first semi-final. We're considering it as a final. We have to earn the right to have another week. So yeah, similar to what Sam said, it's a huge week.
How did you work out who got top bunk, or like was there what was the best one, top or bottom?
Don't know. There's two sets of bunks, so there's 4 of us in there.
Yeah.
So we'll go.
At the back.
At the weekend, South Africa scored a try off about a 40-metre line-out try, and England are very good at it. And without giving away the length of the launch codes, how do you stop that?
I think the first thing is, teams normally get line-outs through penalties is one thing, so making sure that discipline is squeaky clean would be one of the first things I'd look at.
John Gahey, we'll be close to wrapping it up.
Just wondering if you still have a relationship with Willie Hines. Is he still a mate, and is there any banter going on there?
Yeah, I haven't had a message yet, but was in the Canterbury Academy with Willie for a couple of years, and my wife stayed with them during the last World Cup, so know each other pretty well, know both families pretty well, but we'll just leave it for out there on the field, and then afterwards we'll have a good catch up.
Is it strange to you that he's an Englishman?
Yeah, well, I never played against him while he's been playing for England, so yeah, I suppose that is a bit weird, yeah.
Rashi, do you have any questions down the back? Yep.
So the All Blacks have played rugby with a high degree of skill for a long time, probably because a lot of us start rugby when we're quite young. Is there anything else that the All Blacks players have done over a period to increase their skill level outside of that question for Willie?
Who's that for, Rashi?
For Scott Sun.
I think, in New Zealand, kids grow up playing a variety of sports, so they have they get skills from other codes: cricket, basketball, athletics. The list goes on. Hockey, so ball skills and the variety as they're growing up helps. Yeah.
That's us, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.